live for you this weekend must be quite a momentous occasion.
Yeah, I never thought this would happen. I'm not sure if it's ever going to happen again, but the fact it's happened once and here with Mum and my family is just fantastic.
It's something I'm sure your dad would have been very proud of.
Yeah, I think if Dad was still around, there'd be a lot more cars there, and but it's just nice to celebrate what he did, and there's a lot of the ex-Team Lotus people here, and this really is their cars, so I don't know how many laps he's doing. I thought he was coming in after 2, but
it's nice as well. I mean, it's the first time the F1 car's been in the public eye, in a sense, isn't it?
Yeah, and F1 cars don't run at events like this. It's just impossible. So when Lotus Racing said, "We think we might be able to run a car," I couldn't believe it, and I thought it would be one lap tootling, and as you can see, he's not hanging about.
It certainly isn't. I mean, it's fantastic for the fans to be able to get this close to the cars when they're not at a Grand Prix.
Yeah, we really wanted to let people get up close. That's why we invested in the pavilion, and in case it's pouring with rain and what have you, there's some cover and all this kind of stuff, but the weather's okay and everyone's having a great time.
After the close finish in race 1, we're expecting great things from this, the second race of the day in Lotus Cup Europe. Here's our third place man, Scott Cruikshank, and of course down here we've got our pole man, John Walker, but you'll notice there's a little space just over here where Gavin Kirby should have been starting the race. However, due to a few minor problems that he's had with being overpowered, he's now starting at the back of the grid. So let's go racing once again with the Lotus Cup Europe.
So Gavin Kirby allowed to keep his race 1 win, but he's going to have to start race 2 from the very back, and that means life is hugely difficult now because it's a very full field here at Snetterton for the Motor Lotus Cup Europe. The rolling lap then underway, this final warming up lap from behind the pace car. So there's no Gavin Kirby on pole. Instead, you've got John Walker alone on the front of the grid. Tom Chataway lining up with Scott Cruikshank on the second row, and Mark Goodey and Greg Race on the third row of the grid. 1 or 2 gaps during the course of the grid, you'll notice, where people have had problems in race 1 and aren't on the grid. 2 to watch though, 13th and 14th, Simon Deacon and Thierry Verheist. Harry Steegman starting 21st. He's going to be a man to watch with his 211. Pat McBennett, very quick, indeed a class winner in race 1 in the production class. And Moritz Hannepel, somebody that he had to battle against. And so Gavin Kirby now then starting 39th on the grid. Now there are a few gaps ahead of him, not that many though, and he really is going to have his work cut out here. The race about to get underway then as the cars make their way up towards the line. 30 minutes of racing in prospect here for the 4th race within the Motul-backed Lotus Cup Europe this year. And John Walker, with the front of the grid to himself now, controls the pace on the run up towards the lights. Out go the red lights, the race underway. A good start made by the white 211 of Tom Chataway that tries to make the advantage up on the inside there. But John Walker leads the way as they dive into riches for the first time. Chataway goes second ahead of Scott Cruikshank. And already somebody getting a bit caught out. Greg Race in 122, slow in the middle of the corner. On board with Philippe Luc now with his 211, losing a place because round him there, look on the outside, number 49, Laurent Febvre gains ground. And Febvre, the French driver, turns his way through Sear corner onto the Revit straight now for the first time. 1 or 2 run wide over the curb. But there's no drama for the leader. Already he's pulling away. John Walker ahead of Scott Cruikshank in the red 211. Tries desperately to gain places on the inside, coming into the braking area for the S's, but to no avail. Right up behind him though there, number 92, Christophe Lissonde. This is the corner, the bomb hole at which he went off in race 1, ran wide all over the grass. No such dramas at the moment for him as Walker leads the way, and he's getting away from the rest of them. He's pulling well clear as they turn their way out of Coram Curve, down now towards Russell for the first time. Through the right, then the left, that gradual right that brings them back onto the pit straight. Tom Chataway second and having a really good fight here at the moment with Mark Goodey in 3rd place. 4th is Cruikshank, 5th is Lissandre as they come over the line. And there you can see the orange 211 trying to go to the outside line. Mark Goodey looking now very, very keen to get 2nd place as they go towards the first right-hander of Riches. It's a fast right-hander. Is he ahead on the outside line? Yes, he is. Can he keep the place? Yes, he can. Good pass that by Mark Goodey. Through he goes, round the outside. picks off the place, and so now as the cars turn their way up towards Sear, Mark Goodey goes second, and this a replay of Andreas Holzheitner on the first lap with his Honda engined Exige in the invitation class for those cars that run with non-standard engines, and you can see like a video game, he's gone picking his way through traffic to the left and to the right of him, gaining places all the way from Riches towards Sear on that first lap as Chataway versus Cruikshank now. This is the battle for third place, accelerates its way in towards the bomb hole. The leader is John Walker and second is Mark Goodey. Behind them you've got in fifth place Christophe Lissandre, and Lissandre becoming part of a three-way battle soon, I suspect, for third place, because with Chataway and Cruikshank battling like this, they're going to hold themselves up, and that's going to give Christophe Lissandre a chance to close right up now as they turn their way down towards Russell. Chataway hits the curb and he spins right ahead of Cruikshank. There's contact between them, and Christophe Lissandre doesn't even have to be part of that battle. He's gained 2 places thanks to Chataway's spin, and Scott Cruikshank being delayed in that as well as he went onto the grass. Tom Chataway will rejoin, but a long, long way down the order now. So up to third goes Christophe Lissandre, and where does Chataway rejoin? Almost at the back of the field as Andreas Holzheitner now powers his way over the line. Holzheitner up towards the right-hander of Riches. Through goes Simon Deacon, number 39, you saw after a spin in race 1, and Gavin Kirby on the inside there, just moving through. He's picked away past 26, Pete Story's 211, which was a spinner in the first race. So remember, from the very back of the grid, Gavin Kirby now working his way towards the front. He runs a bit wide over the curb coming out of Sear and onto the Revit straight now. And another good little battle here. Look, 28, Stephen Grove going wide with his Honda engine Elise, and right up with him there, number 46, Dennis van den Savel with the orange Exige. Car run by Lotus Thierry Verheijst. Well, Thierry himself is in the race, going strongly. One of his customers battling his way out of Sear. Most people have got themselves together for a fight now. Olivier Agary, you saw, number 48 with his Exige Cup, battling with some of the 211s. And as the European drivers become a bit more familiar with Snetterton, so their speed is up, their confidence is up as well for this second race. And Tom Chataway just went through in 62 there, the white 211, looking to gain ground after his spin a lap ago at this corner at Russell. Race leaders working their way over the line. Gavin Kirby, look there, number 95, still trying to pick his way through the Exiges and the production class Elises, the cars that are a bit slower. But there in the pit lane, Greg Race, who's about to rejoin. And Greg Race gets going again. His brother John is in the entry as well, as there Gavin Kirby dives up on the inside to gain another place. And now he's in 15th. He's got ahead of David Jacobs, so Gavin Kirby up into 15th place from 39th on the grid. A great effort this. Now granted, we didn't quite start with all 39, but that was the rank he had on the grid, so Gavin Kirby carving his way through the field. He's got past more than half of the cars in the race now. Once more, this is Andreas Holzheitner's view as he accelerates down towards the S's, and ahead of him you've got the 211s overlapping now. Holzheitner tries to brake as late as he does. Is that going to give him a place? Yes, it does. He moves through on the inside of 128 Harry Stigmans there, so the white 211 slips back a place, and Holzheitner, who was on the 18th row, doing another superb job. We talked about Gavin Kirby coming up from dead last on the grid, while Holzheitner was only a row or two ahead of him, so both of them here carving their way through the field. There is the Honda engine Exige in the hands of Andreas Holzheitner, and then behind him is Gavin Kirby. The Exige there, the pale blue car, diving up on the inside, another place gained as he comes down towards the chicane at Russell. Simon Deacon is ahead of him. The black 211 is the next target there. The grey 211 though, picking off another place is Gavin Kirby as he accelerates up past the pits. In the meantime, John Race there, number 142, leading the Exige Cup class. We've seen his brother in the pit lane, but John's going well. Scott Cruikshank is behind him. John Race in the orange Exige turns his way now onto the Revit straight, well clear of his class opposition. And this Exige of Andreas Holzheitner, even though it is an Exige, runs in a different class because it has a Honda engine rather than a Lotus engine, and he gets sideways going through Sear. Was the contact? Well, either way, Simon Deacon is delayed because he has to go out wide, and Holzheitner now, after all of that hard work to move himself up to midfield from the very back, he's going to have to do it all over again because the car is now stationary and he is for the moment going nowhere. Race leaders wriggle their way out of the S's up towards the bomb hole. There's Gavin Kirby. Of course, he's gained another place out of all of that whilst Holzheitner was spinning. So Gavin Kirby working his way towards the front, and so too is Tom Chataway recovering after his spin. Chataway in the white 211 ahead of this car, that of Simon Deacon. The 211 evenly matched in this fight. Up front though, John Walker leads the race. He was a winner at Nürburgring in the Motor Lotus Cup Europe, and he's leading here in this fourth race in this non-championship series. They're going through BJ Chong, another very rapid driver who was the runner-up in race 1 at Snetterton this weekend in the invitation class. Scott Cruikshank there turning his way through ahead of John Race with the Exige class leading car. And now, of course, the race leaders working their way through traffic, so back market's becoming ever more of a factor in this race. Laurent Febvre accelerates in number 49 through Riches. And there, still pushing on, number 77, Philippe Luc, who we saw gaining places earlier on. You see the GT4 signage on the side of the car, a car that he's used in the Supersport class of the GT4 European Cup on occasion. The Boursier Competition car goes past the stricken Andreas Holzleitner, who has not rejoined in the Honda engined Exige. That car still stranded by the side of the road. Scott Cruikshank working his way through to the front there, because he's now put another move on Christophe Lissandre, and Cruikshank, having dropped back early on, now working his way back to the pointy end of the field. So he's ahead of Lissandre now, and Lissandre has also got John Race up behind him. The Belgian driver is not that far adrift as they turn their way through Coram. Gavin Kirby still trying to gain more places almost every lap. He's higher up the order. They're going through Harry Stigmans in 1.28. He's on the back of Tom Chataway as they swing their way out of the bomb hole onto Coram Curve now. John Walker continuing to dominate up front with no real opposition, but Gavin Kirby from the very back of the grid now in 10th place as he comes down towards Russell. Superb drive this by Gavin Kirby. Makes his way out of Russell. He's going to gain another place in a minute, is he not? Because there, look ahead of him is Philippe Luc. Over the line goes Kirby. Began racing only a few seasons back when the Lotus On Track Elise Trophy began. And Gavin Kirby just charges through under braking for Riches. Philippe Luc absolutely powerless to stop him. Through goes Chataway, through goes Simon Deacon. There is Stigmans just ahead of BJ Chong. Battles rage on all the way, but not up at Sear, where that yellow flag is still being waved as the marshals move Andreas Holzleitner's car out of the way. In the meantime, the 211s of Gavin Kirby and Tom Chataway, the cars to watch, they work their way up towards the front. Gavin Kirby, the race 1 winner here this weekend. He was a winner at the Nürburgring as well, but this is perhaps the toughest race he's ever driven, having to work his way through traffic, gain places, and all the time he wants to be up at the front of the field, where John Walker and Mark Goodate are the top 2 at present. Pete Story goes through. He was a spinner at this next corner in race 1 at the bomb hole, but so far so good for him in the second Lotus Cup Europe race of the weekend, as Gavin Kirby then accelerates from Coram down now towards Russell. Thierry Verheijst, the Lotus dealer, is ahead of him. Gavin Kirby very easily closing up onto the tail of Verheijst, and he should be able to make a move as they go over the line and down now towards Riches. Gavin Kirby in the wheel tracks of Thierry Verheijst. He goes to the outside line there. Verheijst has a look across, sees where the opposition is, but Gavin Kirby commits to the line, and he's going to be able to easily move through. I think, yes, he takes the place as they go into the corner. So Gavin Kirby now gains another place. Thierry Verheijst drops back. And Gavin Kirby also having not just to overtake for position, but also work his way through traffic. Let's see how far up the order he can get, but it's a great drive this by Gavin Kirby here at Snetterton. The race is being led by John Walker, but is he going to hang on for a second win of the year? Find out right after the break.